on strategic stability in relation to other major countries to make the world a better place.
Now, to talk more on this, we are joined by Mr. McGrane from Manchester. He's a geopolitical analyst. Mr. McGrane, welcome to the program. Now, let's begin with China's recent statement to work with India for better relations between the two countries. How do you see it, especially coming at a time when the two sides recently engaged in clashes near the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh?
I think China's main goal, as it has been for the past 30 years of development, is the progress of a multipolar world, and India is a big part of that. I know they do have a disagreement of a dispute over territory around that area. I know there are treaties in place that stop weapons being used in that area. If you see troop movements in that area, they almost look like medieval armies because they're all carrying melee weapons rather than ballistic weapons. There's no guns, so they are making some sort of steps to make peace. But a lot of this is about economic development, which is a big part of it. Obviously, one of the main adversaries in the world as it is today is almost putting the brakes on American interference. So China showing that sort of hand of friendship in aiding, co-opting the Indian development together is a really big, important step, I think, and it shows a lot of maturity in the Chinese position.
Mr. McGrane, how do you look at India's policy regarding China? Are there any takers for cordial China-India relations in India, or India wants to focus on getting closer to the West, and especially the US seeing China as an arch rival in the region?
I think the American position very much wants it to be an arch rival. America have been courting the government of Modi for quite some time in the hope of it being some sort of bulwark against Chinese development. You do see sometimes where it does look like it could go that way, and then it somehow tethers the other. I personally don't believe it is going that way. Now, India is obviously a big part of BRICS, which is the development program alongside Russia and China throughout the conflict of last year between Russia and Ukraine. India have been one of the major importers of Russian oil, which is very much sort of putting it in the Chinese sort of block, as you would. If we were talking in sort of Cold War terms, China would be now sort of appearing in the Indian sort of sphere. So I think there is a lot to work out between China and India, but I think in the end, I think economic development will come out as the #1 player, and China are India's best hope at that. They're part of the One Belt, One Road initiative, which is obviously going to help a lot of developing nations in that region, which is obviously something that America don't want to see happen.
Mr. McGrane, the Chinese Foreign Minister's remarks regarding the hostile attitude of the US towards the country and its impact on the world politics. Do you see any shift in the relation the two countries currently share?
I think we are in the decades of the coming war with China. America have perceived themselves as the #1 for so long. Their entire identity is built on being #1, the #1 military, the #1 economy, and they are very close to losing that position. And I think it's like a child losing its toy. It's going to lash out, and I think in the way it's going to lash out is in the form of a conflict with China. It is a conflict that I do believe that they are destined to lose. It does seem to be poised towards the territory of Taiwan. Obviously, the world are in this difficult situation with Taiwan where nobody recognizes it as a country, but behave that it is a country as such. They carry on arming it, where it is in fact a breakaway country. It is the result of a civil war that they lost, and any other territory in the world would treat it as such. If India or Iran won a civil war against part of its breakaway section, that breakaway section wouldn't then be able to make diplomatic demands as Taiwan has been doing.